Now, with the accountability
Mm.
and our acronym that we made up with the last time we sat down,
Yes, Pap.
PAB, okay? Now, I know you're a great storyteller as well.
Absolutely.
Now, there is this
That's
particular,
another trait.
that's right,
Very
that's another trait that you have.
great
Um,
storyteller.
and there is a story that you told me regarding procrastination that I
Mhm.
want you to share with our listeners and our viewers because that hits home. And if it does not hit home to the audience, you guys need to rewind this video and listen again. Okay?
Right.
But please share with us about the story regarding procrastination.
Absolutely. So, procrastination, it is, man, procrastination is, I feel like it's one of the number one killers. Dream killers, goal killers, day killers. Like, it will literally destroy everything about you if you do it. So, as far as the story I have, first I would like to give a little dialogue on it. When I say it's a killer, you wake up in the morning, let's say 7 o'clock in the morning, and you have a plan that you're going to get to your dishes. I'm going to get to my dishes around maybe 3 o'clock. I got some other things I got to take care of, and then around 3 o'clock, boom, I'm gonna get to my dishes. Okay, well, you got to your dishes at 3 o'clock, and then it took you about 20, 30 minutes to get those dishes done. And you're like, oh man, that was easy. I can get on to the next thing. I need you to stop right then and there and understand something. It didn't take you 30 minutes to do those dishes. It took you all day. From that 7 o'clock when you planned it all the way down to when you finally got to it and you did it for that 30 minutes. Now, why do I say that? Well, because you have no idea what type of day you're going to have. So at that time when you finally say, okay, I'm going to do my dishes at 3 o'clock, well, what happens at 3 o'clock? That could have been and I'm talking to entrepreneurs right now. What happens if at 3 o'clock, that was the time where you could have became a millionaire? There was something that came across your email, a text message, a phone call, or something. But you dedicated your mind at 7 in the morning that no, I'm not doing nothing else. I'm doing these dishes at 3 o'clock. Well, your entire day went so well that at 3 o'clock you missed everything about how amazingly you built your day. So, um, procrastination. The story I have on not do not procrastinate. Do not sit there and say you're gonna do something and not do it because it'll cost you. And here's my story. So it was a Thursday. It was a Thursday morning. I was going out to take care of some business. Early in the morning, I ended up going to the grocery store. I needed to go to the grocery store, to the gas station. I needed to go to Walmart. I need to do a few other things. I was trying to get a whole bunch of things together. I believe I was getting a whole bunch of printer stuff. Like I was doing a whole bunch of different things. So that morning, I had left late because I was trying to work instead of going straight to do it. I started working. So I end up leaving and I'm like, okay, I'll just go ahead and hurry up, get to the store, grab the few things that I need. I'll skip everything else, go back home, work, and then I'll get back to all of those things later on in the day. So went to the grocery store. After I went to the grocery store, I zoomed straight back home, started working. I didn't leave my house until late that night when I realized what time it was and I hadn't eaten anything the entire day. So I'm leaving to go get something to eat, and I'm like, oh wait, I need my wallet. Okay, can't find my wallet. I looked in the usual places I put it. Can't find it. I have no idea where my wallet is. I tore my entire house up. I looked in places that I knew my wallet wasn't in. I'm talking about on top of the refrigerator, in the freezer, underneath the couch. I moved the entire couch. Like I'm looking in places I know my wallet is not, but I can't figure out what I did with it. My mind keeps going, I didn't go anywhere today. What how could I have lost my wallet? The entire time I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I left my wallet at the grocery store. The reason why I kept saying that is because my wallet has all types of my business cards in it. So if someone did see my wallet, they would have opened it, because they want to look and see where the money is, and things like that. They would have opened it. They would have saw all my business cards. Someone would have called me immediately. So I immediately took that out of my mind. It frustrated me so bad that it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't, okay. So I just left. I left the house and went and just grabbed something to eat with the little cash that I had. After I went and grabbed something to eat, I'm like, wait, the shorts I have on right now are not the same ones I had on when I went out this morning. So that frustration, it kind of went away because I'm like, oh, that's the only thing I didn't look at. Where are my shorts at? Okay, I got to figure out where they are because I didn't look there. So I'm fine. I went, had a nice little dinner, smiling and everything. I'm like, man, I know where my wallet is. I ain't worried about it. I tore up my house. I know I got to get back, clean my house up, get everything together. But I'm good though. So I get back to the house. I find the shorts that I had on. My wallet's not in there. My mind went right back to immediately irritated because I'm like, okay, so then if I left it at the store, that means I probably left it or dropped it while I was trying to get in my truck. And considering no one has called me, my wallet is gone. It's completely gone because, again, I had all my stuff in there as far as my business cards and things. So my wallet, like, someone stole it. So I'm like, okay, I got to call on my cards, get them canceled, do all this stuff. I'm irritated. I have my driver's license, like everything. So I'm so irritated. It's about 9 o'clock. I don't go to sleep early. But that night I was done. I couldn't, my mind was so frustrated that I was like, I'm done. I shut everything down and I went straight to sleep. It was a horrible sleep too because I didn't really sleep. I tossed and turned the entire time trying to figure out what did I do with my wallet. So the very next morning, I said, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go straight to the store. Got up the next morning, went to the store. The store, for some reason that day, the normal time they opened was 9 o'clock. That day, they wanted to open at 10. I literally had to sit in the parking lot for an entire hour. That irritated me even more because I'm like, what? Like, come on. Like, I'm trying to get back home. I just want this to be over with. I know my wallet is not here. I knew I could pay every bit of money I had to say my wallet wasn't there. So the store finally opened up. I immediately go in there. I go in there. I talk to the manager. I tell her, listen, were any wallets found yesterday and put in the back? And she's like, no, not that I know of. Now, the lady who did my order the day before, she saw me, so she saw the manager go by and I guess she went back to talk to her or whatever. So the manager came out and she's like, okay, no, I don't see any wallets back there. And I said, listen, the girl right there, she was the one who did my order. She may know, or I may have lost it outside somewhere. She's like, okay, I'll go check again. So she went back, checked inside the safe. So when she comes out, she's like, what kind of wallet did you lose? So I told her, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a Gucci wallet. It's an all black. It has G's all over it. And it's really small and it has all kind of cards and stuff in it. She's like, okay. So she went back, looked in the safe, came back out, and she's like, no, sir, that wallet is not there. So when she said that wallet is not there, I'm like, wait, but there is a wallet back there though. She's like, I can't really say it. I'm like, okay, listen, okay. All I need you to do is go back there and open it. Open the wallet up and just, if you see a card that looks like this, just look at it. Look at the cards and you'll see, or look at the ID and you'll see me. So the lady who did my order, she finally walks back there with her and they're talking and she comes back out and she's like, okay, is this your wallet? And I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, that's my wallet. She's like, yes, sir, the wallet that you said, that's not this. This is completely different. Now, before I tell y'all to wrap it up, I want you to understand something. I've had this wallet since I was about 15. But the frustration in my mind told me that on my wallet it was nothing but G's and it was a Gucci wallet. When in actuality it was a Coach wallet and it had C's all over it. So the fact that my whole mind was completely blown away that I actually lost my wallet at the grocery store. How did I pay for everything, put the card back in my wallet, and then put my wallet down to where I left it here because I didn't have my credit card, I didn't have the receipt, I didn't have none of that stuff. So she gave me my card back, gave me a receipt, and I put it down. There was no way I did that. But what I want you to understand is, if I would have did what I said I was going to do the day before, I said I need to go to the grocery store and then go to the gas station. I literally was almost on E. Y'all people who know you, when you know your cars and you like, yeah, nah, I got about a good 10 more miles and I'm good. So I get gas another. The problem is the gas station was literally 30 feet away from the grocery store.
Wow.
If I would have went to the gas station like I said I was going to do after I went to the grocery store, I would have known right then and there that I left my wallet at the grocery store. So when I say procrastination, I mean that entire day destroyed me. The rest of the day, the rest of the evening, I had so many things I wanted to do that evening. So many things I could have been training, all kind of things. But instead, that one moment in the morning of me procrastinating and putting everything off till later on and then never getting to it and then realizing the one thing that I've never lost my wallet before. That was the very first time that ever happened. And when I got it, I laughed hysterically because I'm like, I've never in my life done this before. And the fact that it happened this right now, and the funny thing about it is I had just talked to a few people, even you,
yes,
about procrastination. That week, I had literally talked about it. I even did a video on procrastination. That was like the pinnacle of procrastination, and I had did it myself. So, but understand this. I didn't do it after that. I learned my lesson completely after that. But understand that, listen, you can't put off those things because one small, okay, I'm going to do that later on, it can destroy your entire day because you don't know what your day is going to look like. Like, yes, from the time I went to the grocery store and went home, that was an amazing time. I did a lot of things during that time. The problem is I didn't end my day on a great note. I ended it on an even worse note and then started it on a bad note because of that one situation of me procrastinating and putting off all those things.
And see, people, the audience, listeners, viewers, the gems have just dropped. Okay. This is all about changing your mindset when it deals with procrastination. But you said something very interesting. Mm-hmm. That you were frustrated and stressed. Okay.
Yes.
Anybody would.
Yes.
Anybody would.
Yes.
And you went to bed early because you were like, I'm done.
Yes.
So what would be some shortcuts to people to overcome something such as that particular instance or something that they're facing right now successfully to handle the frustration and stress?
Right. Well, then I'll go back to the story. Today, if that was to happen, and it won't, but today, if that was to happen, I would not have ended my day like that. I would not have. The stress would not have gotten to me because I would have combed through my home and I would have understood that, okay, let me see what I did today. What was I supposed to do today that I didn't do? If I would have went with that mind, like, okay, what was I supposed to do today? Then I could have backtracked to where my wallet was. That whole mindset was me saying, I've never lost my wallet. I know it's in my house somewhere. So the stress and irritation that I had was because I was dealing with something that I didn't understand the lesson to. I didn't understand what the lesson was. It's like, I've never lost my wallet before, and why would it happen today of all days? And Now I gotta drive without a like. There was so many things that that were fluctuating from that. But dealing with frustration, dealing with stress, how you deal with those things head on is exactly that way. Dealing with them head on, understanding. Okay, boom. I'm gonna focus on this for a minute. Okay, I can't figure it out, then it's done. It's over with. Because again, like I said earlier, when it comes to your mind, whatever you think is how your day is gonna go. I wasn't frustrated that day. I wasn't frustrated. I wasn't irritated. I wasn't mad. It was because I had lost my wallet for the first time and I had no idea where it was. And everything seemed to link in. Again, my wallet, it had my bank, it had all my business cards in there. If someone found it, why wouldn't they call me? So again, so many things went into my mind that made me frustrated to believe that I did something stupid, or I overlooked, I was doing too much to where it got me to that point. But from here, looking back, and if I was to deal with that now, I would have dealt with the frustration and the stress head on, but I would not have put um, any like real. I would have focused on it, and then if I couldn't get it handled, I would have moved it out the way to get back to what was really important. Because even though losing your wallet, your license and your cards and all those things, but again, we go back to technology. You open up your tab and you lock all your cards, and
Yeah.
even though the DMV, they be having long lines. Hey, look, next time there just won't be this next time. You'll not do this again. So and then also some of you do random pictures on your, so that may have just been the top. And that's what I was thinking of. Well, you know what? The next morning I thought of it. I said, well, that picture I have on there, it is real spicy. Like they caught me off guard with that. So I actually can get a haircut now and walk up there and be ready. So there would have been good to that, but I didn't get to that part because of the frustration I had. So meet it head on. And if you can't figure it out, do not give it your energy. Do not give your focus and energy to things that is going to drain away or take away from the main course, the main things that you're trying to do, whether it be that day or that week.
Okay, so with procrastination,
Mhm.
you had intuition
Yes.
that kind of told you what to do, but then there's obedience. So, how can all three of these words together, as you were just stating about the success, to handle the frustration, to overcome, to be successful,
Hmm.
how can the intuition, which, our ancestors would say, my first mind,
Yes.
you know, um, my first mind told me this. Some people say that's the Holy Spirit. Some people say something told me. You
Right.
know, how is that related to being obedient and being and walking the way you're walking? For where Dell was to where you're becoming now. How is that obedience helping you to help others change the
Um,
mindset?
I think, I think by
I didn't mean to confuse you.
no, I'm because I'm trying to like accountable. By holding myself accountable. Uh, because I've gone through those things.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm able to, again, there is no testimony without a test.
Right.
I can't tell you about this story if I've never been through it. Even though there are entrepreneurs who, and I don't have a problem with that, but I don't, it's hard for me to explain or tell a story that I've never really been through and then have the energy behind it. So I would say, in order to be like accountable, I hold myself at a high standard when it comes to having a conversation, when it comes to clicking this red button and getting on here and having these conversations. Like the the genuinity I need to have, genuine, being straightforward to where people can truly uh, get something from every time I open my mouth. I want someone to be able to get some type of gem, even if it's one person. One person, I mean, a million people can watch this video, but one person can get a gem out of it. I did exactly what I need to do with this video, and I can move on to the next one. That's basically what it comes down to for me is being able to just give that gem to one person.
Okay, so changing the mind. We
What?
also have discipline because we've talked about consistency the last time we sat down. So now we're into discipline and how, as an entrepreneur or just a layperson, kind of talk about the challenges and that a first year, second year entrepreneur, someone who's gravitating to the next level to say, well, and they want to quit, but then they're halfway in and they're halfway out. So what would you tell them to try to say, well, look, you left your 9 to 5. What is your why? Do you want to, does your why make you cry? Does it make you have this desire to keep moving and to keep going on? So speak to the audience, even myself, because I've stepped out, left corporate America, and, you know, I'm 1 foot in, I'm 1 foot out, but I would never change it for the world because I have so much freedom. But I know I have that discipline.
Right.
And I have that work ethic.
Right.
So talk to the audience, myself included, and everyone who's sitting in this room. What would be your advice as far as we're getting rid of procrastination? First of all,
yes,
we got to get rid of that because your story about your wallet and the dishes, those were just gems, just jumping off, the page,
right.
And you kick the can again with that. So kind of lead into that.
So for people walking into this, whether you are at the verge of giving up or even, with earlier when I said, this situation is turning, a lot of entrepreneurs into 9 to 5ers, and a lot of 9 to 5ers into entrepreneurs. First off, remember why you did it. I think that's number one. And understand that sometimes your why, you lie to yourself. That could be the biggest problem. A lot of us, we hear that, your why should make you cry. And like I said, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. So some of us have acting whys. Acting meaning we think about it and on cue we can just start tearing up just because we can act that way on that. It may seem like it's a big why when in actuality it's something that's reachable. And what I mean by reachable, it's like it's something you can do and have achieved by next week. Instead of it being something that's everlasting. I think that everlasting why is more or less the key to you understanding. Like, if you are questioning whether you want to keep going or not, if you're quitting, if you want to quit, that means that that's your plan B. And that means that you have already failed as an entrepreneur. And I have to be transparent with that. If you are thinking, oh man, I'm just gonna quit this and go back to not, you already had that plan. It was, well, let me figure this out. If this works, then cool. But if it doesn't, then I can just go ahead and go back to, no. See, when I tell people that you're going to become an entrepreneur and you're going to fire your boss, when I say that, I really mean it. I don't want you saying, hey, look, boss, I'm going to go try this real fast, and if it don't work, I still got my job though, right? It's like it's a crutch. No, throw the crutches away. Get rid of that wheelchair. Get rid of that safety blanket, because once you get into entrepreneur world, it's all or nothing. And that's how you become successful, is by going at it all or nothing. You can't have a security blanket, because the moment that things get rough, and it's going to get rough, it's going to. The moment that happens, your mind is immediately going to go back to that 9 to 5 mindset where you're like, okay, this is getting rough. So since I'm not making any money for the next month, you know what? What I'll do is I'll just go back to this job and just make a little bit of money there, just so I can pick up from where I lost, and then I can just get back to no, 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 no. The moment you walk out of entrepreneurship, that's the easiest decision you can make. The hardest is coming back. You can leave it easily. The hardest thing is coming back, because now you're gonna have that procrastination of, man, I loved it, but in the free time, but it's just the money wasn't guaranteed. Oh man, look, I just got my check. But this is guaranteed money. Actually, it's not. 9 to 5 money is not guaranteed. Oh, you think it is? Oh, because you went to work for your 40 hours or your 60 hours, and you're supposed to get a check on Friday or Thursday. You that's just your norm. Like, yeah, I get a check every Thursday, Friday, or every 2 weeks, because I worked. Well, what happens when your owner comes in and just says, hey, yeah, we went bankrupt, so no one's getting paid? What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to sue. Well, you work at a 9 to 5, so more than likely you don't have time and money. Oh, you're going to gather with everyone else. Well, more than likely, the rest of them are going to try to find another job. You see, one of the things about when the route I went with trucking is my company let me go. And the moment they let me go, well, that was it. The reason why they let me go, now all the other places are going to look at it that way. So I want people to first look at your why. Really look at it and understand it. And then let go of that plan B. If you have a plan B, your plan A has already failed. Also understand that if you walk out of entrepreneurship, it's going to be the hardest thing to get back into it, because you already know the ins and outs of it. And you have tasted the success of, I was an entrepreneur, I made it, and then I jumped out. That's like a gambler. Well, I left with more money than I came in with, so I won. Did you really? Because you actually wanted to stay there a little longer and get a little bit more, but you knew that if you stayed a little longer, what does that mean? Does that mean that you could possibly be afraid of success? That's something we definitely will talk about. But change the mindset. Change the mindset, and I promise you, you will change the narrative. Thank